All sports talk shows are the same, right?
I am bothered by everything.
You gotta go back to football school.
The goal of this guy, it's just immeasurable.
Wrong. In a world filled with talking heads more interested in their own celebrity than actually knowing the sports world, it's hard to find the people who really care about sports first. Look no further. Wire to Wire has it all covered. These guys have the knowledge and the cred to back up their opinions. No hot takes to get attention, just straight up opinions. Know anyone else who correctly called the 2020 World Series and March Madness? How about 70% on the NFL and NCAA football last year? You don't. Bottom line, these guys know their shit. They aren't doing it for attention, they're doing it for passion. Wire to Wire, live every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, only on Toxic Radio and wherever you find podcasts. Hey guys, dating life going pretty shitty?
I find you so creepy, I think you should have to walk around with a bell around your neck.
Finding yourself getting a little desperate for some female companionship?
Alexa, tell me you love me.
Hell no. You disgust me.
What you need is to upgrade your style right now. The Toxic Store's got exactly what you need. Pick up some stylish gear featuring Deviant Gamer, Toxic Radio, and the Heavy Metal Happy Hour.
Oh, yeah!
You can find the store through the Toxic Radio app or toxicradio.net. Get in the game.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Get yourself a little love.
That guy's getting boobies. Yeah, he is.
Toxic Radio and the Toxic Store. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic.
Master, dinner is served.
Igor, it's not that I don't appreciate the effort, but you know I prefer my meals uncooked. And how many times have I told you about using garlic?
Yes, Master. Forgive me, Master. Please.
Bite into Paradelphia. Thursday nights at 8, only on Toxic Radio.
Paradelphia. Because what if it's all true?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's that time of the week. Large and in charge and on time. THEEGODFREY. The Godfrey, as you can see right there. That's where you can find me on the Twitterverse, Metaverse, whatever verse that exists these days. Maybe we'll broadcast this show from the Metaverse soon. Mike, we doing Toxic Metaverse? What's up?
I think that's in the near future.
Okay, cool. Now I have to worry about, do I wait to get the Oculus 3 or get the Oculus 2?
That's everybody's big question right now. I think everyone is safe with the Quest 2 right now.
I'm going to be pissed.
At least for another year. At least for another year.
I'm kicking you right in the nuts if the 3 comes out next week. Like, this is Francolino's fault.
I'd stake my reputation by it.
Nice. So we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about Carhart. I know you guys are excited about that, but me and Mike both have been saying this is how private businesses are allowed to operate. Yeah, apparently you have to be Republican to buy Carhart. I didn't know that. I just thought it was like really great work clothes that could keep you warm. I mean, I didn't know you needed like a GOP card. So, but apparently they think you do. And, yeah, they don't. So that was interesting. We'll talk about that. Rogan versus Vince Neil. And shit your parents have done that has been forever burned in your memory. I know Mike's got plenty of those. And I do. And, all that stuff. Got a lot of stuff flying around the internet this week. It's kind of interesting. But the Carhart thing is interesting because people were saying, like, oh, the government shouldn't be telling you what to do. They pulled the mandate. Supreme Court shuts it down, pulls the mandate for Moshe to have to get the vaccine. And then private businesses do what they have been doing whatever the fuck they want. And I don't say that in jest. I just say that they're a private business, and that's how our laws currently stand, that they're allowed to require a vaccine mandate. I mean, they're not doing anything illegal. So then people... For years and years and years, I've heard one side say, like, no, let businesses do what they want. They have to operate independently, and that a lot of times it's the side on the right. And now, since it's not politically expedient, they are reversing course, saying boycott Carhart. The funny thing is, when I see people boycott things they've already bought and then destroy them, they've already gotten your money. Kind of counterproductive, right?
Absolutely.
How stupid is that shit?
Extremely stupid to watch all these guys on Twitter and on TikTok go ahead and just cut off their tags in protest. Yeah, it's the whole thing that, you've already bought into it. But there was another TikToker who stitched one of those who made the comment that, well, Ford also makes people, has their employees vaccinate. I think Apple does. Like they were going down a line of all these companies, these big time companies that do it. Are you going to go do the same thing with all of their products too, and tear off the Ford symbol on your car? I mean,
yeah, I believe Fox News also actually has a vaccine mandate.
Yeah,
are you boycotting Fox News?
Exactly.
I boycott them naturally. And most major, I should say all major news networks I'm not fond of at all. But, it's almost like, I was at work the other day and someone's like, someone was trying to talk crap on the product we offer. And then we're like, well, do you ethically source the coffee that you drink? Or was that, did a young African child carry that up a mountain and then it got brought to Wawa and got brewed and put in your cup?
Exactly. It's a slippery slope. Once you start doing shit like that, and then you go, well, what about this? And then, people don't want to hear that because,
Yeah. If everybody has their standards, and if your standard is you don't want the vaccine, that's fine with me. I mean, if whatever your standard is, it is, right? Or whatever your principles are and you want to stand on it, that's fine. I'm not really yucking anybody's yums here, but the Carhartt thing just kind of cracks me up because I see this kind of thing multiple times. I saw people like breaking expensive Keurig machines because they pulled their advertisement for Tucker Carlson. I'm like, those things aren't fucking cheap, I mean, I don't know. If I don't get my own show, I'm going to burn my toxic shirt. Well, I don't blame you, but we could probably make that.
I don't blame you. That's the response he gets. Yeah. I don't blame you.
You can make that happen. Brad, you can do a Brad Huber show.
About what?
Call it the Pink Beard.
Just talk about beards?
I guess.
All right.
But, the Carhart thing, man, I'm reading about it, and apparently their workers are going to have to do a mandate. I have one at my job, and I think what these companies are doing isn't necessarily political, although some of you would disagree. It's more so a liability issue, and they're trying to protect themselves from any future litigation that might arise down the road if they decide not to do it. I do find it odd, though, that they are going down this road because, before COVID, coming in sick to work was like, you better do it, right? I mean, it has kind of changed a little bit, right? Before that, it was like, you're sick, so what?
Take some medicine, get in here.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have to be graphic about calling out. Like, yeah, I'm calling out because I'm pissing out of my ass.
Which I'm sure we are not the only ones who have ever done that.
Yeah, pissed out of your ass or called out?
Called out with saying that you're peeing out of your booty hole.
Yeah, I've done that. I've had people do that when I was a supervisor. I'm like, when they said that to me, I was like, okay, fair enough. See you tomorrow.
No more questions need to be answered.
Yeah, okay, sure. If you wanted to get that graphic, I'm gonna buy it. I'll let you get this one. But that is the culture in the United States of America. It is not the culture around the world. Mostly, when I say around the world, the developed world. But with us, it was the culture. Now it's kind of reversed, and it's not because they care about you. It's because they're watching their ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, don't get it twisted here. Boycott Carhart. That's hilarious. What makes me laugh is, this is why I find this kind of stuff interesting because you're really boycotting nothing, and there's so many other things out there you could boycott. You could say I'm not going to buy Kellogg's because they're fucking their workers. I'm not going to buy anything that's a Kroger brand because they're fucking their workers. You could do any of that, but this is what you choose. I don't get it. I mean, why? Like, if you want to stand up for something righteous, dude, I'm all about it. But like, stand up for something that is actually affecting people.
Yes, let's boycott the church.
Yeah, okay, that too. I'm okay with that. Anything, but this is like it's a ghost. It's an invisible thing that doesn't really exist, in my opinion. you know, it's the outcry comes amid fierce debate in the U.S. over COVID-19 jabs. I love when I call it the jab. This month, the U.S. Supreme Court said the government could not force large employers to make COVID-19 vaccinations or weekly testing mandatory. Companies including the coffee chain Starbucks have since reversed their plan for such rules. But in a recent memo to staff, Carhart leaders said the Supreme Court decision has not changed company requirements, which went into effect for much of the staff early in January. We put workplace safety at the very top of our priority list, and the Supreme Court's recent ruling doesn't impact the core value, wrote Carhart's chief executive, Mark Valadi, a descendant of the company's founder. So,
Vladimir.
No, it's not Vladimir. It's Valadi. It's Valad, Vladimir. So while we appreciate that there may be differing views, workplace safety is an area where we and the union that represents our associates cannot compromise. An unvaccinated workforce is both a people and business risk that our company is unwilling to take. So my thing is, staffing's an issue. People getting sick is an issue. Production could probably be an issue at this factory. Their union. I missed anything? Has there been an outcry from the Carhart employees themselves?
No, not that I've heard of.
So you're telling me people are boycotting something that the people that it directly affects are not even talking about themselves?
Right. Because this isn't something new. It's new in certain industries, but the requirement for vaccination, then boycott the hospitals. Don't go in. If you get sick with anything, don't go to the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with people not taking it, but I just, at this point, it's just, boring. But at the same time, people are, all upset about it. And I'm like, dude, some people just wear Carhartt because they make good-ass work shit.
I've never bought an item of Carhartt.
Something tells me Jamie has.
Yeah, Jamie definitely looks like a guy who's wearing Carhartt undies.
Do they make undies?
I'm sure. If they do.
Yes, they do.
You see? Told you. Tighty whities.
I don't wear tighty whities.
With the car.
Not no more.
But they make really good. They make
logo on the butt cheek.
They make really good. They make really good jackets. They make really good overalls and pants. I mean, and they got a brand that's trusted, and I think it's trusted because, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jamie, has a lot of durability. It lasts long.
It does. A very long time. I have a jumpsuit that's insulated that you wear in the wintertime. I've had it 7-8 years now.
Do they make
and it's held up real well.
Do they make a Carhartt thong?
I don't think so.
Well, let's Google it, see if they do. I'm pretty sure there is.
I'm going to check it out.
Everybody wants a denim thong?
No, just Mike does.
Yeah, I could see Mike doing a denim thong. Yeah, so, I mean, just, I don't know, get behind some real shit, you know what I mean? I'm watching our politicians fight over not voting or voting for something, fighting over how to vote. What the fuck is that? Anyway, it's just stupid. Which brings me to Jackass. I'm thinking of Jackasses after I bring that up. And the movie Jackass is coming out, Jackass Forever. I cannot wait to see that.
You can keep it.
You don't want to see it?
I never saw the other ones.
Why not?
Because they're jackasses.
That's the whole point. Where do you think toxic radio stems from?
So, Mike, are you going to see it?
Absolutely. I mean, you're
Mike, yes.
You're kidding me, right?
That was a.
I might see it with pants off. I don't know, but I am going to be seeing this.
Pants off. Wow. What theater are you going to? So I know not to.
My own home theater.
Gotcha. That's going to be quite fishy. So, I think Mike should yeah, all right, do that. But Jackass made it cool to be an idiot, and it's hilarious. And a lot of them are, I think all of them, maybe most of them are professional stuntmen.
No, I mean they are now.
Mm-hmm.
They can be considered professional stuntmen now, but
I'm not even sure about that.
When they started, they were in no way, shape, or form professional stuntmen. They were just jackasses.
They were fat slobs like the rest of us
doing this crazy shit.
Yeah, is that for this movie upcoming?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's why you can always tell the promo pics for this upcoming movie.
Is there no Wee Man?
Because Knoxville, they're Wee Man. I don't know if he's not in that promo shot, but anytime you see Knoxville with the platinum hair, That's how you know it's one from this upcoming.
Wasn't the last one was supposed to be their last one?
Well, I mean, 2 was supposed to be their last one also.
Yeah.
So that after 2, they said no more.
Yeah, that's because they had a lot of crazy shit going on there, and people were like, "I'm never doing this again." Like my favorite was when they had the one dude walking in with the tray of tomato soup, and they hit him with a giant hand. And they're like, "Hey, bring in a tray of tomato soup," and he's like, "We can't believe you actually brought in tomato soup. Like you went to the cafeteria and got it."
Yeah, that was Bam.
Yeah, no, was that Bam?
Yes.
No, Bam was the flour. It was the other dude, Dave.
Okay. Danger Aaron or Dave England?
Dave England, the guy who got pubes glued to his face.
Right.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to see what the
There's
cast
Wee
is.
Man.
Yeah, Wee Man is in there. Beckles, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Jeff Tremaine's involved, obviously. There is no Bam in this one because Bam he looks like Phil these days. And he always said he didn't want to look like Phil, and I feel bad for him. But Bam is in a bad way, right?
Yeah, I mean, schizophrenia, tons of...
Schizophrenia?
He's got tons of issues right now. Bipolar. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Schizophrenia, wow.
I don't know. I just pulled that one out of my ass. That might not be true. I just say things.
Well, they say, fans disgusted by Bam Margera's continued bad behavior. I mean, wasn't he supposed to be being a badass? Like, that was... we should see the Dr. Phil interview. I never watched that.
I never did either. Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Machine Gun Kelly will be in it. Eric Andre, Wee Man, Rob Diedrich, Chris Rabb. I'm actually surprised. Chris Rabb, we got a picture of him here in the studio. He was on my podcast. Dave England, Tony Hawk, Preston Lacey. There's a lot of big names are going to be on this.
Yeah, so Bam Margera, believe he had a restraining order from Jeff Tremaine not to come near him. So that is...
Oh, Bam not only did that, but Jeff Tremaine put a restraining order after Bam left messages on his cell phone telling him to look over his shoulder and watch after his kids. He better sign that deal or he's going to have to watch his back constantly. So it was a threat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, not good. And because obviously Jackass, this movie's going to do very well. The guys are going to do very well in terms of kickback from the movie. He just had to get his shit together. Sadly, I think every other member of the Jackass team, for the most part, have gotten sober, and Bam's the one who hasn't.
Yeah, Ryan Dunn wasn't in. He passed, obviously.
Right.
He was in all 3, but he wasn't in 3?
No, he was in 1 and 2.
I swear he was in 3. You're sure?
Let me double check. I believe that he was not. He might have been.
I feel like I've seen it. Well, he's not going to be in this one, unfortunately, and that's I always wondered if they were going to ever do one again because of that happening. He perished in a car accident in Westchester, driving really fast, I believe, on a wet, rainy night with a Lamborghini, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because that one was No, Ryan Dunn was in Jackass 3D, so it was after that one. Mm-hmm. So this is the first Jackass without Ryan Dunn.
Speaking of shit you'll never forget, and we'll get into that next, is I'm going to see Jackass, but Mike brought up Jackass 3D, and I remember wearing the 3D glasses and seeing dildos fly by me in the movie theater.
Fly by you, fly at you, fly towards you.
Not joking. Jamie's like, really? I'm
dildos like, yeah. In all direction. Now, you got to remember, Jackass was the reasoning behind me getting into online media. Jackass gave me the motivation, the inspiration to create my first website, which was a website called Don't Just Stare at It. It had a picture of an old elderly lady sitting on a rocking chair with a gun in her hand, and the caption said, "Don't just stare at it, do it." Where I would post videos of me and my buddies doing the stupidest stunts that we could think of, and I would come up with all original stunts that nobody had ever done. And that
a circle jerk's not a stunt, though,
on
Mike.
Jackass. One of my most prized stunts, which I would love to redo. If anybody watching would like to do this for the show, it was called Shot for Shot.
Shot for Shot?
Shot for Shot.
Is that really a stunt?
So you want to hear what it was?
Just listen.
So there we go. So let's say it was me and Godfrey. What would happen was I'd get a bottle of whiskey and a shot glass. Godfrey would stand across from me. I'd take the shot glass, fill it with the whiskey. I would take the shot. As soon as I hit the shot glass on the table, Godfrey would punch me in the face.
I could do that without the shot, though.
So you're going shot for shot to see which shot is going to make you fall first. Is it the shot from the punch or the shot of the alcohol?
And
keep going
you've
over
done
and
that
over
before?
again. Yes.
Wow.
We taped it. It was pretty awesome. We had a party around it. I had this giant line cook. This looked like a fucking a backliner. I don't know what the fuck.
A linebacker?
Linebacker.
A backliner. The fuck?
And he was huge, and he put boxing gloves on. And every time it was Southern Comfort, I'd take a shot. He'd punch me in the face, and I ended up passing out. We never found out which one it was from.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like someone's going to get hurt if we do that.
Well, that's the whole point. Isn't that the point?
I don't even know if Jackass done anything like that. I don't even know if they have.
No. Well, they won't now. They're all sober. But I mean, why wouldn't you? It's gold.
Yeah, well, speaking of gold and gold records, Vince Neil said you cannot play any of my music Spotify over Joe Rogan. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, but it is Neil's right to take his music off. And I wonder if it starts a trend, because if a lot of major artists follow his suit that may feel his way, that's going to hurt Spotify. Just Neil taking the music off won't hurt it alone. But Spotify has become more podcast heavy, so I don't know how important music is going to be really to their platform long term, but who knows? I do think, Joe should be able to say what he wants on a show, but the problem is when you have someone come on, Joe Rogan, and I like Joe Rogan, as you all know who listen to the show regularly, and he has someone that is a detractor of COVID or non-COVID, whatever your position is, doesn't matter in this point I'm making. Joe is not an expert. So why does that matter? He can speak on it. He can have his opinions on it, but you can't fully vet someone that's coming on to be an expert and ask them questions that push back, because he's not an expert in that field, whereas the other guy is an expert in that field. So therefore, you're having someone on that can't be challenged, and I think for me, that's where I take issue with it. But the misinformation part, I'm surprised Neil went there, but I'm not surprised. But listen, Neil's a legend, and I'm pretty sure it's going to end up making him sell some more music too, and make more people listen to Joe. The thing is Joe is interviewing people, and I do think that the thing about him that kind of freaks people out is Joe, I feel, will listen to both sides of the argument. He always has, but he also, will have them separate sometimes. I've had him, I've seen him have debates on certain topics where both people are in there that are the, the opposite sides, and they go at it, and then that's pretty good. But the problem I have with a lot of these guys, that come out here, when you have a grandiose claim, you usually have to present evidence. And the thing about this that people don't realize is there's a thing called inherent bias or bias. And I could break it down simply here to sports. Jamie might have saw this post online on my Facebook. There's a lot of people that say Tom Brady's not the greatest. You can have that opinion. That's fine. And it may or may not be true. But when I preface the post saying you're either a Jets, Bills, Steelers, or Eagles fan, and surely enough, it was a little case study. Everybody that commented fell under that category that said he wasn't the greatest of all time, and they gave their reasons why, and then they tried to say, I'm an authority because I've played football, I was a coach, or, all weak-ass arguments. The point of me bringing it up is the inherent bias was there, right? Like, someone's like, oh, the game's not tough enough, and this is why, and oh, but you're a Steelers fan, it's because you don't like them. Or the one guy was an Eagles fan, tried to say Michael Vick would do just as well if he was on the Patriots. I was like, you are drunk. My point is not the sports point, because, I know some of my audience isn't in on that, but, when you're biased and you can't give someone their due, speaks to the character, and there's a reason why you're doing it. And sometimes these content creators are creating content that is curated toward your bias, right? I mean, Mike, isn't that fair to say? Like some people, they make content that way, right? And
I mean, it's the whole thing of whatever works. Don't fix something that ain't
Right.
broken. You see something, a topic or an ideal that is working in terms of your core audience, you're going to placate to that. Because
but my point is they're trying to placate to the community.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it true. It's just they're doing what works.
Exactly. Look, you know this for 100%, Godfrey. If you found that a certain subject line of discussion that you have on your show struck a nerve with your audience and struck a nerve with newcomers, you would kind of shift your show towards that.
I don't know if that was true. I'd be talking about tipping every week with you.
But possibly, because if it draws people here, if it draws people to tune in and to become fans, that's what this is all about, is to create your community and build your community.
That's true if it's an entertainment portion of it, right? But my point is that there's a low-hanging fruit out there, right? And sometimes people take the low-hanging fruit, and when we're entertaining as we are, and that's a different story. But when I see someone out there that, for example, when you see people on TikTok specifically, I like TikTok for this reason. You can stitch videos and challenge people. You can debate them. I think that's a really unique feature about TikTok. And the thing that sucks for people that are full of shit, usually they can't come back to that because they have to come back with a real argument. And you can't talk over each other. You have to talk one at a time. So it has to be a real debate. Really hard for you to just be loud and talk over your individual so people can't hear their point. So one of the areas that I see this a lot is nutrition and exercise, right? And I'll see people in there talk. There's this one guy, he wears a shirt called "Kale is Bullshit." And he says that he'll give you all these fancy terms that people don't know about and say seeds that are in fruit and vegetables have a defense mechanism and they fuck you. And I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, this guy's in a fucking grocery store not wearing any shoes. Anybody tell him about the defense mechanism of glass and all that kind of shit? No, I guess we didn't talk about that. But my point of that is there was a doctor online that I was watching, and he stitched, and he said, listen, this is why this is bullshit. Here is my source. Here is my site. Here's my thing of evidence, right? So even when you have a conversation of opinion with someone, if you have a talk track of where it is going and this is why you believe this and this is how, that's a different story. But when you start you start trying to change the whole direction of the conversation and steer the boat away from it because you're about to crash, it's a whole nother story. TikTok is great for that because what are you going to do? You can't prevent the person from doing that. And especially when it comes to nutrition and fitness, there's a lot of grifters out there. There's a lot of, you could become an expert and one day, boom, I'm an expert, and I'm on TikTok. And as much as I like TikTok, I'm starting to think like if you just post on TikTok, you can get an audience.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy on there that I'm amazed. He gets hundreds of likes a day, thousands of likes, and he just talks about his experience working at McDonald's his whole life. I'm not joking.
I've seen that one. I do want to bring up a saying that Opie and Anthony used to have, and I'm sure they're not the only ones. But the whole thought process is that what they said?
I'm sorry, just
is that what they?
That was that was Flipper Mike. He was getting excited about Opie and Anthony.
What the hell just happened? What?
All right, so
what's going on?
Continue.
So they used to have the saying that you don't go to CNN for dick jokes, don't come to Opie and Anthony for hard-hitting news.
True.
So, you have to look at the source, who you're going to, who you're listening to.
But people don't do that anymore.
I
agree with you, and I agree with their thought.
That's the horrible thing. You have to look, and you have to look at it in the medium in which they're doing it at. Like, if they have to placate to, like you said, listeners, stats, ratings, sponsorships, like these are all things that these shows and social platforms all have to placate to that hugely affect the content that is going out.
I've been in sales for years, and I always size people up, and I'm able to read people because of it and all that. And I just feel like I'm always like, can I trust this guy? Is he full of shit? But I think some people don't think that because they are feeding into what they want to believe, right? And so they let their guard down and they're like, oh, yeah, he agrees with me immediately. I believe it. People don't question the source or question themselves, and they should do that. Like, I could watch Joe Rogan and be like, okay, Joe, you're full of shit on this. I'll catch you on the next episode. I'm not interested in watching this, but there's other interviews where I'm like, okay, that's really cool. I want to hear that one. But some people talk about it like it's biblical. Like, Joe is not a health expert. I'm sorry, he's not. And he'll tell you that. It's entertainment, and that's what he's doing, but he has a lot of loyal listeners. I mean, listen, but for me, if it's something that's like that, I personally, if I ran a show like Joe, I would have that guy on, and I would have a guy on that would debate him, because I think that'd be more entertaining. Because this guy, Joe is like all of us. We have very little knowledge when it comes to being an epidemiologist or disease, and we're reading all the shit on the internet. And this guy's like, yes, that's right. No, there's all kinds of misinformation on that episode, and I'm not even going to get into that. But they're letting Joe do his thing at Spotify. I knew that was going to happen when they invested that much money, but they must be doing some heavy numbers, because he seems like he's Howard Stern protected, and I don't think they should take him down, so to speak. But I wish Joe would be a little bit more, forthright with it, and the reason is because Joe knows about being a victim of, I don't know, misleading news stories. They were trying to say he was taking horse dewormer because he took ivermectin, and ivermectin is a very old, widely used medication that can be used outside of horses using it for deworming. That is true. So they were, CNN was caught red-handed, just totally pushing bullshit. So now you have this point where even big networks are pushing bullshit. So it is what it is. But listen, I don't know. Does it become a trend? Does other artists start pulling their shit from Spotify? I don't know. That could be bad for Spotify, but I don't foresee it being a short-term problem. So, or a long-term, or I don't think in the short term, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. But whatever. Mike.
Yes.
You had a weird childhood, right?
I guess.
I did too. I mean, something tells me you did. But.
I think there's not many people out there that don't think that they had a weird childhood. For most of us, we feel like our childhood was weird in some way, shape, or form. Correct?
Yeah, I guess. What's the most scarring thing that you've ever walked in on your parents? Like,
I am not going there and saying that on this air.
Wow, really?
No.
You can't even There's not even you don't even have one that's dialed back.
Especially if mom's listening.
As soon as you said that, though, there was one that 100% came to mind, and I am not about to go there.
Well, I'll have one. There's weird shit that we've seen our parents do that scars. Sometimes the way they act in public. I'll give you one that happened to a friend of mine. You guys will never know. People that are younger than us. You pretty much know the porn you're looking at now before you open it up. You could tell, like, all right, this is that. Well, my buddy of mine was looking for his dad's porn stash. This is probably mid-'90s, early '90s. Now, your grandparents, a lot of people, or parents, thought what would be really freaky, because a lot of people like to stream now, is let's get a stationary camera and record ourselves having sex so we can watch it later. That was a thing. Like, in the 90s. Jamie knows. There's tripods, right? Right? And so he tells me this story, and he says he puts in this porn tape. He starts doing this thing. You can guess what he was doing. And he started doing his thing, flogging the dolphin.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's looking at the video, and he's like, wow, that place looks familiar, because it was his living room. And then he realized, because he couldn't see the faces in the video, it was his mom and dad.
Oh, my
God.
So he pulled out a porn video.
Shit.
And he's telling me the story, and I'm like, where did that happen? He's like, the chair you're sitting in. I'm like, you're fucking with me, right? Like, and I was just like, wow, man. It's like going through someone's porn stash back in the day is a loaded gun. You don't know what the fuck's going to be on there. Pretty bad. So I got even something worse. One time I must have been like 10. No, maybe I was 12. Trying to remember. And my parents were divorced. Lived in an apartment with my dad at this time. And I thought I was locked out because the door was locked, and I had my key. So I used to be able to climb up the balcony, and I didn't realize what was happening until I thought about it years later. And I definitely walked in on my dad whacking it. Because I was just like, I didn't know because I was younger. I was like, I don't know why he's acting so weird. So because what happened is, imagine me climbing up it's an apartment complex to the second level, because I knew to do that. I was like a miniature Spider-Man, and I opened up the back door, and all I saw was and I'm like, and I kind of felt like Tommy Boy in that scene, like, what's going on here?
What do you think is more awkward, your dad walking in on you doing it, or you walking in on your dad?
It's a tough one, man. I've never been caught. I'm undefeated. I don't know
You're
about
undefeated?
you. Yeah, have you been
Wow.
caught?
Nah.
So you're undefeated.
I
Jamie,
don't remember a time I've been caught. If I was caught, then somebody very sneakily caught me and just kind of let it be.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I did, for my whole childhood, share a room with two brothers.
So what you're saying, it looked like a fucking like whack-a-mole factory in there? Like the sheets were possessed, raising themselves?
I do have this is down the same realm.
Were you guys relatively close in age?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, very close.
Boy.
My younger brother, I think I'm...
Don't turn a black light
year
on
older
accidentally in
than
that
him.
room.
I think I'm a year older than my younger brother and 2 years younger than my older brother. But down to the same scope of like finding somebody's porn and something. It made me think of this story, and I'll share this with you since it's not going to be the family one. But a buddy of mine came over for a party, and this is in my 20s, so of course it was a rager, blackout drunk, all that kind of stuff, and we're drinking, having a good time. And my buddy goes home, and he goes to his phone, and he finds a dick pic.
What?
And he looks at it, and he goes, and he's thinking to himself, when did I take this? And it was bothered him so much because he thought he had remembered the night pretty well. But it bothered him because he didn't remember taking this. So he was looking at it for a good solid week, trying to figure out who took this, when did he take it, why did he take it, did he send it to somebody, did he show it to somebody? He couldn't figure out what he did. And then about a week and a half later, it finally came to him that it wasn't his.
Whose was it?
It was mine. And he texted me to tell me, you fucking piece of shit, I've been staring at your dick for the past week and a half, trying to figure out where I took this, when I took this. The only reason he figured out it was mine.
Why am I not surprised at that? Because I'm pretty sure.
How do you know it was yours?
Because
I should have guessed that.
He realized that it was my kitchen floor, finally, the tile underneath, and realized that it was me.
See, I'm not surprised at that because I think most people that are friends of Mike have at some point gotten a dick pic from him.
I mean, do you think you could pick your own out of a lineup?
Me? I think I could.
All right, we're going to play that next week on the show.
Nope.
Everybody, send them in to The Godfrey.
Yep.
Please DM him, your D, and we're going to have him up in the studio with a picture of his, and we're going to see if he can pick his own out.
Yeah, well, listen, I have one better for you. So, back in the day, this is when I was in a band. This is probably like early 2000s.
A band?
Yeah, I used to be in a band.
What kind of music?
It was rock, like, hard rock.
What did you play?
Bass.
Skin flute?
No.
Oh.
Bass. That's called the Francoloni. That instrument. I don't know if you knew about that or not.
I did not.
It's got one hole in the end and two in the front. But I want to.
Wow.
So, the thing about this is, it was fucked up. So my friend did something to piss me off. He's at band rehearsal, and he had a disposable camera sitting around. And this is like before camera phones were like, if you had a camera phone, like you were like at the top of like the technology chain. And I decided to get him back, and it was after a sweaty band practice. He was passed out on the couch, and I took a lot of ball and dick pics and ass shots and on his disposable camera. Now, keep in mind, with disposable camera, you have to go get that developed. So he called me up, and he's like, dude, first off, he tried to fake me out. I didn't believe it. He's like, my mom found those pictures. I'm like, oh, shit. Did she like them? Like he was, and she didn't find them. So he went to Pathmark, got it developed, and he said he was wondering why his film was open. He didn't think anything of it, and he's walking through there, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like, you know, and it was just like 5 dick pics in a row.
Nice.
And so, long story short, you know, it's like somehow, I don't know, his mom heard about it, and his mom calls my mom, and I'm like 21 plus at this point, so like, what's she gonna do, ground me? And she's like, you know, she's like, I don't know about that kid, you know, and it's just a joke between our buddies, and he gives me the photos, obviously, right, in the negative, so I throw them all away, right, because what do I need that for? And I get back, you know, to my house and all that, it's gone. My mom decides to buy me a new bed or something. I'm like in college. Well, there was one lone dick pic under the bed. Now we're cleaning out the bed. We're taking it to the old bed to the curb, and I'm walking back in. I just took like the bed frame out, and she throws a picture of me. She's like, "I found your gay porn," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Gay porn," and it was like I was puzzled because I could tell it was like a picture, right? And I looked at it, and it was my. I was like, "Mom, that's my dick." Like,
oh, Jesus Christ.
She was so fucking
that's
mad.
Mine. Don't you remember?
Don't you recognize that?
You used to wipe it with a wipey.
Well, what I was mad. I was like, Mom, why do you think that I would look at gay porn first of all, and then like,
I mean,
you think that I'm getting film developed of dicks and trading it back with people? Like, is that?
I mean, you might be in some underground trading, whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Like, I think it's kind of funny. So. If anybody doesn't see me responding, it's because my computer died. That's why I'm over here playing with this iPad. But I'm just looking at that and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of embarrassing, but it's hilarious, because it's just one picture made it through. I threw them all out, and it was the money shot too.
It was a shot.
Straight dick shot.
The money shot?
Yeah.
The money shot?
Well, not the money shot, but money shot meaning like it wasn't like it was clearly a Johnson, right? That people were seeing. So that was the money
stubby.
shot.
I got you.
No, that's not true. Come on, let's not tell fairy tales here, Mike. Let's some people will call me Loch Ness. No, I'm just joking, but
because it's gooey.
Maybe. Maybe because it's gooey. Ew. So. I think, that kind of stuff is like, ooh. So, can I get a copy of that pic? No, Brad, you cannot get a copy of that pic, you sick bastard. So, it's he wants a copy of the movie, then a copy of the pic. You are a devoted toxic fan, though. I could tell you that right now. If you want a picture of that,
we'll send that out.
Speaking of devoted toxic fans, I'd like to congratulate Fish because he finally liked my page like 2 days ago. After
I seen that.
And I was like, oh yeah, thanks for liking my page, Fish. After like 9 years,
I seen that. Finally gave you a like.
I was like, wow.
He must have been drunk. Didn't know what he was doing.
What did I do to earn that one?
Hit the button.
I liked Heavy Metal Happy Hour like 9 years ago. Now he's like, oh, I think it was the Birds Deep page. Actually.
9 years ago. So you're saying the last time they broadcasted?
That's about right. Yeah. Yeah. It was the turn of the millennium. Poor Fish. Actually, I don't know if you guys noticed or not. I'm producing a show. I'm going to take over the Fish Happy Metal Happy Hour.
You're going to be on the way you're going. You're going to be on everybody's friggin' show.
No,
you're going to be on my news show.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm going to be on Fish's Heavy Metal Happy Hour. It's going to be called the Godfrey Happy Hour. Or no, it's not Happy Hour. It's Heavy Metal Power Hour. What is it? Heavy Metal Party. I forgot what it's called.
Heavy Metal Happy Hour.
But it's not an hour. It's 3 hours though.
It's just the name of the show, Matt.
Okay, but isn't a happy hour one?
Well, happy hour at the bar isn't just 1 hour.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Well, listen.
It's like several hours.
Yeah. Well, it depends on
how
early
we
you
get
which is better than only 3 hours.
We can get Fish to come back in if we come in and do like a parody show like Saturday Night Live on the Heavy Metal Happy Hour for like we can all dress up as Fish.
What the fuck is going? What are you? Did you eat a brownie before you went
no,
on air?
But that would be hilarious though.
I don't know, Godfrey, but you ate something.
I ate chili.
Oh.
And a wet burrito.
What? That sounds.
You never heard of a wet burrito?
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Never heard of moldy sauce?
Oh.
Oh well, in that case, you just stay over there.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not like dropping deuces or anything, but okay. I'll stay over here. Fine. So. Yeah, fucked up shit, crazy stuff. Mike, I heard a rumor that you're going to be doing a one-chip challenge. Is that true?
When?
No, last time I brought up to you,
I thought he was gonna pull out a chip right there now, and I'm like,
oh, I should have. When I asked you about it before, you were like, absolutely not.
Because, dude, those days of doing those challenges, I feel like I should leave those to the young.
So you're old now?
It causes just
older.
It causes a ridiculous amount of stomach and butt pain that just leaves me.
So you blew your O-ring finally.
I don't pray, but after doing those things, I end up sitting there on the toilet praying, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's fun when you're doing it. When you're waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning and literally wanting to crawl out of your skin and cry.
I want you to be truthful here.
It loses the fun.
Have you ever eaten something that you regret it that was so spicy that you shit yourself before you could get to the bathroom?
No.
You are so full of shit.
Because spicy stuff does not induce Taco Bell type shits. What spicy stuff does
Taco Bell
is it kind of lines the rim of the anus with the spiciness, so it just hurts the inner lining of the exit of the colon is in gut wrenching pain, like it's making a fist, and your butthole is on fire, and the poo just comes out kind of like a kind of like you're at the end of a paint can and there's some solids in there, is what it comes out like, and you feel like if you could just get the rest of it out, it'll be done, but it just comes out so slow and
We have like one listener now.
So no, I've never had. I would actually prefer and love to have explosive after a time like that. I feel like it would be more relieving, but no, that's not how it happens.
Really?
Yeah. So, sadly, no.
Yeah. Well,
it's a whole lot of me just sitting there praying.
Yeah. You're probably like, yeah.
But the new thing to do is to sit on the toilet after that with a VR headset, so that I am 100% taken out of that moment and teleported somewhere else mentally, so my physical body can stay behind and
until the poop comes calling
and deal with the consequences.
That's you getting pulled out the Matrix. As soon as that shit hits the honey hole, it's like, woo! I'm back to reality.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, jeez.
Thank you.
Of all things that Mike can't handle, it's that thing, and like all the things he's eating, I'm like, how is that possible? Like, that's the one thing.
So again, a younger me was all about it and would do it in a heartbeat. I've got to start being more cautious with that kind of stuff. I mean, bugs, animals, rodents, anything else you want to put in front of my face, I'll pop in my mouth in 2 seconds.
Buttholes, easy stuff.
Just put it in my face. I'll put it in my mouth.
Butt stuff.
Animals, rodents, anything else.
Oops, I don't know what that was. Some weird magic trick. Anyway, back to the broadcast.
So that's what he's been doing with his computer. That's why.
No, my computer died.
Anybody wants to know why the show is lacking? He's over there recording, editing audio.
Yes, I am. I'm making TikTok clips live on air. But yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. Maybe one day we'll get you to come out of retirement. But I'm definitely not. I do have that one chip challenge sitting in my room, and I'm definitely not fucking eating it. That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
I'm definitely not eating it. And you know what? Great. Mike, maybe we'll get him to do it one day when he's drunk or something like that. I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, yeah, do it. I mean, alcohol and that can't be a good mix. So, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. So, I saw an interesting story. Elon Musk, being the tech giant that he is, there is a 19-year-old kid that created a bot that tracks his flight patterns, from his where his private jet goes. And he inboxed him and asked him to stop, and even offered payment. But the kid said, I'd rather take a paid internship. And the guy, and so Musk hasn't answered him back because he's currently in Hawaii. But you know, Elon Musk tried to pay him to stop. A 19-year-old built a flight tracking Twitter bot. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he asked him, "Can you take this down? It's a security risk." That's how Elon Musk opened a conversation with the 19-year-old Jack Sweeney over Twitter DM last fall. He was referencing a Twitter account called Elon Jet, which tracks the movements of his private jet around the world. It was a late night message coming in at 13 a.m. You know that's his like chick. Like that's. Can you ask him to take it down? Like, and Sweeney's time. But the college freshman didn't lose any sleep. His reply nearly 7 hours later: "Yes, I can, but it'll cost you a Model 3. Only joking, unless question mark." He shouldn't even said only joking. He should have said, "Yeah, it'll cost you a Model 3." You know, Elon Jet is one of the 15 flight tracking accounts Sweeney has created, run by bots. He's programmed to, praise the data and tweet every time a chosen plane takes off or lands. Each follows a high-profile person, almost all in tech, including Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. But Musk's tracker is the most popular one with nearly 83,000 followers. That's low. I thought it would have more.
Yeah. I'm sure it does now.
Yeah, and the account's popularity appears to have scared Musk. "I don't love the idea of being shot by a nutcase," he told Sweeney in their DM conversation. Get some security, bitch. So, the thing is he's using public information from the FFA, so you're allowed to do that. So, they haven't led to any dangerous incidents so far, but I just find it interesting that, this guy is a tech giant and he can't stop a Twitter bot, a 19-year-old kid making a Twitter bot.
That's what takes him down.
That's what takes him down. That is the future of society. If you talk to certain Elon Musk fanboys right there, you can't take down the bot, but he's going to build a wormhole all the way through the United States to the other side. That'd be cool if he did that.
Absolutely.
But, I hope he does do that. But not with my tax dollars. Fuck off. So anyway, the most recent DM between them, because it's been going back and forth, was exchanged last Wednesday when Sweeney said, and this might not be last Wednesday actually, just per the article when this was written, said he preferred internship over payment in return for deleting the account. That's a beta ask, by the way. It should be a paid internship. I thought he would have said that. "Let me work for free. You fanboy motherfucker. Let me work for free. Let me give you some advice right now. Your negotiation skills suck." I would have got at least a Tesla out of him.
Yes. Go for broke.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna need a Tesla, about 1,000 Bitcoins. I want 10,000 Dogecoins, and I want you to pay for the rest of my college, and I want a paid internship after I get out, and just see what he takes out of those options. It's called the high-low. I don't know. I would do it. But I mean, it's just funny that like Elon Musk is in this kid's DMs trying to get him to take down a bot.
I feel like Elon Musk, though, at the same token, like, even though yes, it is a security risk. Yes, you don't want people doing this. There's a part of him that goes, "Smart motherfucker."
Yeah, maybe we should hire him then.
Yeah,
but he hasn't answered his author, but he said he's in Hawaii on vacation. He knows that because of their flight tracker. Oddly enough, so he said he's not offended by it. I'm like, wow. Okay, cool. Good for you. Good for you, buddy. Mike, did you watch any football this weekend?
Sure.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
All right.
Jamie, did you?
Oh, hell yeah.
So I think it's funny that the Rams are playing the Niners. That's not funny, is the Rams, they don't really have a strong fan base like an Eagles fan base.
Right.
So they're trying to block 49ers fans from buying tickets. But it's really not thought out well. I know I have a friend that is an Eagles fan that went to a Rams game, an Eagles game, and they emailed him about buying tickets because he's on their fans list, but he's not an Eagles fan. I mean, not a Rams fan. Do you not think that there are 49ers fans that have gone there before that are on this same email list, you idiots? So the Los Angeles Rams' effort to prevent their home stadium from becoming a hostile territory on Sunday may have an unintended consequence. It appears the Rams' defensive maneuver has only made 49ers fans more motivated to snatch up tickets on Sunday. Plus, what if you have a friend or a family member that lives in that area that's gone that are willing to buy you tickets?
Yeah.
Right?
Come on.
Lifelong 49ers fans share Stern didn't want the Rams to get, so Stern didn't want the Rams to get away with restricting ticket sales to buyers with credit cards registered in the Los Angeles area. Last Sunday morning, Stern posted on Twitter that he would happily buy everyone's tickets using Thousands Oaks billing address if 49er fans Venmoed him money in advance. Wow. So, yeah, Stern didn't check his phone again until later that day when he arrived at the mall with his wife and daughter. What he found was an onslaught of messages from 49ers fans from all over the county eager to make it up to him to offer. So that's a 49ers fan that lives there, right? I was pretty surprised, Stern told Yahoo Sports. They told me they wanted to sit and let me know that they were ready to send money, and I took care of quite a few people before the Rams lifted restrictions. Before the 49ers try to shatter the Rams' dreams of Super Bowl in their glimmering new stadium, the first battle of the NFC Championship game has already flared up on the ticket market. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's going to backfire because, like, if that was the Eagles game, that wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen.
No.
Just wouldn't fucking
Not
happen.
at all.
And, you know, I know people want to believe this, but the Rams, they
are the best.
No, they're not. Well, I mean, they have a chance to be, but they're not, you know. Do I really think as long as they're getting the attendance money, Brad, I do think they care because the coach cares and they're placating the coach. And they care because recently the Niners beat the Rams in Los Angeles, and it sounded like a San Francisco 49ers game based off the crowd reaction. So I do think they care because they said in the game they had trouble hearing calls and things of that nature when they were on the field because there were more 49ers fans than Rams fans. And the reason why is because there's not really a lot of Rams fans. You know, there might be some that were at L.A. back in the day, but I just want to let you know they went from L.A. to St. Louis back to L.A. So there is that. They wouldn't be back in L.A. if it wasn't a major media market. There's 2 teams in L.A., and I guarantee you that half of the tickets that get bought are people taking a trip. You know, the Raiders, that probably happens a little bit, not as much, but I mean, they did move away from Oakland, California, where they were for years. I mean, I just think it's funny when teams try to do this. I don't know if it's a stunt or not, but I don't think it is. You know, Shane Stern, he's a lifelong 49ers fan, so his thing was to help them get away with that. And I knew something like that would happen. I knew there'd be someone that lived in L.A. that they would have to sell the tickets to, and there's nothing they could do about it. So, Stephen Spiewak of Vivid Seats cautions against equating where NFL ticket buyers live with the team they support. Spiewak's company has created a proprietary algorithm that uses more than simply geography to project what percentage of a crowd fan will be rooting for each team. 65% of fans at SoFi Stadium on Sunday will be supporting the 49ers, according to his proprietary algorithm. Vivid Seats' initial projection. Vivid Seats is like a Ticketmaster if you're not familiar. The forecast caught even Spiewak by surprise since Vivid Seats estimates that the average NFL crowd is roughly 85 to 90% in favor of the home team. I'm not surprised. I could have told you this. You could have asked me if the Rams were in an NFC Championship game and they were playing the 49ers or any other team that has a long history and a following, I would tell you that team would always outnumber the Rams fans. Anybody that's even a novice football fan knows that shit. If that was the Eagles game and they were playing the Rams in the NFC, it'd be like 80% Eagles fans. They would be like, listen, I know you're a Rams fan, but I'll pay you double for your ticket. Like, that's it. That kind of shit would be going on. I know it would be going on. And, you know, it's just kind of one of those things where, you know, by the way, so it's the Rams have a chance to be not only the home team if they win here in the NFC Championship game, the home team in the Super Bowl as well. So, yeah, that's why. But, Brad, good question. But, you know, the Niners came back on them last time they played, and I believe they won in overtime. So the memory of embarrassment was still fresh for the Rams when they beat Tampa on Sunday to earn another shot at the 49ers. So the 49ers are like 0-6 with their current head coach versus the Rams. So the coach went on to talk about it. He urged Rams fans to hold on to those tickets, and the wife of Rams left tackle Andrew Wood pleaded for fan loyalty. Here's the thing. You're pleading to nobody. There's nobody there. So if you Rams fans want to sell your tickets, I'll buy them. Melissa Whitworth wrote, just do not sell them to the other team, please. By the way, 49ers fans are known for being top 5 asshole fans in the league, just to let you know. So there's another reason behind that, too. They have that reputation. Eagles fans are in there, too. Sorry, guys. Oakland Raiders, I think Jets fans, and I'm missing some other team. But 49ers fans are consistently in the top 5 of most annoying fans in the NFL. So, and yet even with the Rams' single win from hosting the Super Bowl, Sunday's ticket holders have been tempted to sell. The average ticket price on StubHub is $1,187. The worst nosebleed seats in the stadium are still going for more than $600. Let me tell you something. If that was the Eagles NFC Championship game, I would sell them and watch them on TV. I would take that money, not spend the money on parking, get cheaper beer, have my own pisser, not have to fight people to take a shit, and not have to fight traffic. And I would take that money, put it in the bank, and watch the game at home. That's the great thing about football. Watch it at home. Not horrible. So, yeah. So Debo Samuel commented on it. I get that we turned SoFi Stadium into Levi's, but restricted fans from buying tickets is crazy to me. I just don't know. So for perspective here, in London, if you go to a Premier League soccer match, which is like the major league for soccer over in Europe, there's some other leagues that are just as equal. But that being said, if it's a home team, they separate the visitors from the home, and there's a certain amount of tickets for the visitors team. You know where all the visitors are at. You are not allowed to sit amongst the home teams. The home team fans, right? Now, you can blend in. They're not going to, come up and shake you, but who are you here for? Who are you here for? But if you start making a ruckus, I've seen people removed. I've seen people, so they have an actual section allotted for the visitors. Crazy, right?
Huh.
They separate them because they don't want any fights to happen. I mean,
They won't do that here.
No, I argued that they should, but they won't. I've been to 3 or 4 Premier League matches and a UEFA Championship match, and the atmosphere is like American football. That's soccer over there. There's cops on horses. They're ready to whoop some ass if people get out of line. And they don't even have guns. They don't even need guns. They're just gonna fucking be on a horse to hit you with a billy club. Oh, you're out of line. You're gone. You're in paddy wagon.
Run you over with the horse.
They could run you over with the horse. Yeah. So I don't think they're not going to do that. I mean, the cops know what they're there for, and but that's the whole point. They just keep the fans separate because they're trying to keep the rowdiness from happening. Because certain soccer matches, certain leagues, it looks like an all-out war. If you watch it, you're like, what the fuck's going on there? It's because it's so, personal. But I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. So it's going to be a great games this weekend. And tomorrow night, I'll be talking football with me and Gene. He'll be back on here with me tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Wait, we do it at 7, right? Yeah, 7 o'clock. Yeah. We'll be doing Birds Deep. Mm-hmm. Gene's show last night, Wire to Wire, him and the boys on there, Bill and Cottrell. You could go check them out. If you didn't get to see it live last night, you can download the podcast and give it a listen. And same for me. We're all on the platforms, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, you name it. You can catch us on there, toxicradio.net. You can catch it on the app. All that great stuff. But tomorrow night, we'll be going Birds Deep. So thanks for listening, folks. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, this is the Godfrey, not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.